What is going on? It is 12 noon on Wednesday, which means time for this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern time, to help you understand how to grow your real estate business, to understand the technical side of the real estate industry. We've got a lot of great information we're going to be sharing with you today about finding your first real estate clients fast. So that's the thing when you're starting brand new in real estate that most new agents are concerned with, and you should be, is where do you get your first client? Where do you get your first deal? Where do you get your first contract? How do you get your first paycheck? And that all comes from your first client. So what we're going to be talking about today is how to get your first clients. And there's a lot of different ways it is that you could get new business or you could get leads, but there's also a lot of scams as well as legitimate businesses that might not necessarily be the right business model for you. So there's a lot to this that we're going to be covering and talking about today in terms of how to structure your real estate business for success so you are able to be a success story rather than somebody who was taken advantage of or couldn't get things figured out. That's what we're here today. If you don't have your first real estate client yet and you're trying to figure out how you get that, stick with us. My name is John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
You are watching Ask the Instructor. Absorb the knowledge. Become the expert.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to this week's episode. Sorry, I'm cracking up looking at the picture of my face over there. We just started putting little thumbnail cut up things on it. But anyways, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern time. It's called Ask the Instructor because I'm a FREC certified real estate instructor. I'm also a real estate broker licensed here in Florida with multiple broker licenses. And real estate has been my life for quite some time now. And one of the things it is that I want to share with you today is something that a lot of new agents struggle with, which is getting their first real estate client. And I always like to say it's not a question of if you'll be successful in real estate, it's a question of when you'll be successful in real estate. But you probably don't want to wait. And so the big emphasis for today is going to be on how do we do this quickly? How do we do this the most efficiently? How do we structure our business for success so we get our first clients fast? We're not sitting around waiting, or we're not getting taken advantage of from some service that's selling leads or promising to promote your business. There's a lot of marketing scams out there. And again, there's a lot of legitimate businesses as well that might be misinterpreted as scams, but that might just be because it wasn't the right fit for what you're trying to do. So again, what we're trying to focus on today is what's most important in terms of advertising, marketing, getting exposure, is getting your first real estate clients. A few different things it is that I want to touch on, but let's start off with the whole avoiding scam things, and let's talk about some of those issues that are out there. So when someone's brand new to real estate, they need leads. They need people to do business with. And there's a lot of different ways it is you can go about finding that, but a lot of people ignore their most valuable source of leads. And we're going to talk about what that is in a second. But let me tell you what your most valuable source of leads is not. And these won't necessarily always be some sort of scam or anything like that, but again, there's a time and place for investing in scaling your business, but that's once you have proven business model. So we're going to get into all of that and again talk about what that number one best source of leads would be as well. But let's think of some other sources. I'm going to say low quality, and it's not even necessarily that it's low quality, but this is what I would avoid to get started. I'm not even going to put a title up here because I don't even know what it is we're going to call this list here of items. But there's all kinds of pay-per-lead services. And I want to put this first because if we're talking about scams or not even necessarily a scam, this could just be a legitimate business model that you might not be ready to invest in some pay-per-lead. Or we'll put number 2 up here, is just general advertising. So these are other ways to get leads, which these are not necessarily scams. Neither one of these are both legitimate. Now, there can be some of these that are construed to be advertising or a pay-per-lead service that could be some sort of scam, don't get me wrong. But these are legitimate ways to grow your real estate business, but keyword grow. And that is something you need to do when you're getting started, is to grow your business, but a little bit different when we're talking about starting. So again, we're going to talk about that most valuable source of leads. These are not, because these require an investment of money. So to share you a story about myself, when I got started in real estate, I ignored this most valuable source of leads I'm going to share with you. And I went and I fell for a sales call it was actually a pay-per-lead service. I was new to real estate. I didn't know where I was going to find my first clients. And so what I did, and now granted, things have changed a lot since when I got started in real estate. Social media was still a thing, but it's not the thing like it is today. So that's another dynamic we're going to talk about as well. But that also is going to fit into this most valuable source of leads. It's not necessarily social media, but social media is part of that. Social media is part of all this, because you want even if you eventually, when your business is ready to pay per leads or do some sort of advertising to grow your business, you absolutely want to get all these new contacts that you're making following you on different social media channels, so that way you could stay top of mind with them. But when I started in real estate, again, I was struggling to find clients. I didn't have good coaching. I didn't have good mentorship. Really didn't have any when I was getting started in real estate. I was left to kind of fend for myself, which is not a great place to start as a new real estate agent. So you want to ensure that you're joining with a brokerage that has some guidance, some mentorship, some coaching, obviously some training to go along with that as well. And all that is well and good, and maybe even your office provides leads. Let's put that up here. And now the reason why I'm going to put this on this list here of things that are not going to necessarily be your best source of leads. So these are sources of leads, but again, not necessarily the best. And you can definitely get some good leads from any one of these, from a lead service, absolutely, from advertising, as well as leads that come into your office. But again, these are all things that both of these cost money. These have some sort of financial investment that you're making, which you might not be ready for yet. I wasn't ready for it. I subscribed to a pay-per-lead service before I even knew what I was doing with real estate. So this, to me, it seemed like a scam. Now, it was a legitimate company, that these were legitimate leads. I just didn't know how to work them. The salesperson on the other end, I don't know, maybe they just assumed that I knew what I was doing more with real estate. Maybe I sounded like I knew what I was doing, but I knew how to spend money, but I didn't necessarily know how to work these leads. So this might not, again, be the best place to start out for your first clients, just because you're investing money for this. But now, how about the office leads? Now, the office leads, these can usually be, now it depends on where the office is getting these leads, but these might be a better quality lead than other types of leads. Maybe they're more sold on your company's brand already as well, but the thing is, with office leads, typically there's a quantity thing. I don't know of any office out there that provides so many leads that you don't know what to do with all of them. Just because you need a ton of leads. You need as many leads as you possibly can. And maybe that office is out there that just provides you so many leads. But then the thing is, when the office is generating those leads, there's some sort of cost for that, because it costs money for the office to generate those office leads. So you're paying for the office leads indirectly. These ones up here, the cost is very direct for these pay-per-lead services or advertising, because you know exactly what you're paying, and hopefully you're able to track what it is that you're getting from these different options here. The office leads, that might be part of your bundle deal with your office. And if there is a brokerage out there that's providing you so many leads that you got more than you can handle, I could guarantee you that's going to be a very high cost brokerage, either in a high commission split or there's maybe some crazy monthly fee, because that office is having costs to get that business somehow. So there's got to be some way there that that office is not only able to recoup their costs, but remember, they're a business. So just like you, they want to be able to profit as well. And when there's higher costs, that results in a lot bigger cost for you as well. So these can be good. All of these are great. All of these are great sources of leads, and again, not necessarily scams. And the only time I would ever really call any of this a scam, or really somebody might, and you know, and granted, at the time, I didn't even feel like I was being scammed. I just was like, oh, these leads are all bad. They're all just bad quality leads. There's no such thing as a bad lead. There is no such thing as a bad lead. Maybe if the phone number doesn't work and the email doesn't work, then yes, that's a bad lead. But if you're able to contact somebody, if you've got legitimate contact info, that is a good lead. They might not be ready now, they might not be a hot lead, but they're a person. And on top of that, they also know people as well. So let's transition. Let's keep going down the list of where more ways it is you could go to get your first clients, to get your first leads, to get your first deals. And these are going to be some better options for when you're new. So better options. I've still got that best option for you here, but we're getting close to that. So every single person it is that you meet will also know somebody. But the people that are going to be your best quality clients are the people that are the deepest in the relationship with you. So what do I mean by that? So let's do this. Let's draw out a Target logo here. This is not a Target logo. Don't flag me for copyright. But what we're breaking down here, and actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's start off here with the bullseye. Then let's work our way out. So as I'm changing color here, as we're getting farther out, maybe we'll do a blue to represent maybe colder. So what we've got here, this is everyone you know. And this is your coldest audience. Now, this is going to include any leads that are generated through these methods as well. So any leads that we're talking about from some sort of lead service, some sort of advertising, any office leads, any way it is that you're getting leads, that you're getting potential clients here, that falls in this category of everyone it is that you know. Now here in the middle, we're going to actually even put this down as your past clients. That is the money. That is your best source of leads. But for a new agent, you don't have any past clients. Now you actually might, just not real estate clients. So if you come from some other line of work, which I'm sure you do, and even if you're, fresh out of high school, well, your work was going to school. So how about all these other people that just graduated with you? They could buy a home. They're over 18. They should start investing in wealth now. So I don't care where it is that you're coming from in life, because you do have to be at least 18 years old to get a real estate license. And look, most people at 18 are not going to be anywhere near financially capable of being able to buy a home, but they're actually, I guarantee you, there are. I guarantee you there are. There's some really impressive 18-year-olds out there that are really doing crazy things. You don't believe me? Go on the internet. That's probably a very small percentage overall, but they're out there. Now, chances are you're maybe not, just fresh out of high school getting a real estate license. If you are, welcome. But if you're like most people, like me, including myself, I didn't start, real estate as, that wasn't my dream my whole life. Matter of fact, with me, I grew up in real estate. I wanted nothing to do with real estate. Maybe I wanted to be a real estate investor, but I didn't want to sell real estate. I didn't want to be a real estate agent. I was better than that, or at least that's what I thought. And the other thing was I was told in school all this, that was the thing you aspired to, was to go to school and to get a good job. Well, if that school is only like 2 weeks and that job has no guaranteed pay because it's commission only, well, what kind of teacher is going to recommend that to their students? Well, the teacher that realizes that you can, even though there's no guaranteed income, there's also no cap on the income. As many houses as you could sell is as much money it is that you'll make. There's no limit on how many houses you could sell. There's no limit on how much money it is that you could make. There's no limit on how big you could grow your real estate business. Most of the teachers that figure that out already have a real estate license, and if they're really sold on that idea, they might not be teaching. It's unfortunate that, teachers are not able to be, compensated very highly for the good it is that they do. But goodwill alone doesn't necessarily pay the bills, especially with all the inflation and all the prices of things going up and whatnot. People need to make more money. And if you're stuck in a position where your wages remain stagnant, or that you get a small increase where you can't necessarily contribute, I mean, at least if you're in some sort of position that pays a commission, then that's better. But now, how big are those commissions? How big can they possibly be? And maybe you're in a position that doesn't even allow for any commissions. But let's get off the tangent here. Let's talk more about the clients and how this relates again back to your past clients. So your best source of clients is going to be your past clients. And what's your next best source? So say you're brand new. Maybe you're fresh out of high school. Maybe you already did something else and now you're getting a real estate license. Who is your next best thing? So I don't really have any official name for this stage. But you probably know people who are advocates for you. And then what is an advocate? An advocate is somebody who is another word that I really like for this is an evangelist. Evangelist, I believe it's a religious term. But you see the phrase televangelist of the TV preachers, and they're usually very compelling, and that's what you want. You want the TV preachers out there talking about how good you are in real estate. Now, if you've got a past client where you've done that level of service to them, where they're like, wow, yeah, you need to use John, you need to use Sue, you need to use Bob, because maybe they've done business with you already, but they don't necessarily have to have done business with you. They may never do business with you, and they could still be one of these advocates or evangelists for your brand, for your business, helping grow and scale even bigger. And so you might not be a very well-connected person yourself. You might not be a very sociable person yourself. You might be the person who appreciates quality relationships as opposed to quantity relationships. And for that reason, you might think that, real estate, if I got to talk to a bunch of people and know a bunch of people, I don't know if I could do that. I'm not a social person. Hey, trust me. Trust me, I'm not a social person either. You don't have to be. But if you're not, you need to be well connected with people who are. You need to be, and even if you are a social person, then still you want to be connected with other people who have large audiences, who have their own sphere of followers, who will not necessarily do what they're told, but will value that person's recommendation very highly. And those are the people you want in your arena. Those are the advocates or evangelists that you want for your business and for your brand. But then what about these in-between stages here? How do we view people in these little in-between stages here from before their client or before they're so sold on us that, think of like your mom, and this might be a bad example, or your dad, or your best friend, or somebody who's close to you, a brother, sister, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, maybe a teacher in the past, somebody who knows you well and trusts you wholeheartedly, where if there was something where, you needed this person to defend you, there'd be no question to ask. That's the type of person that fits that evangelist or advocate type of role, because those are the people who believe in you, who will help you get more business. But you've got to cultivate that. You've got to cultivate those relationships. Now, the in-between here, between everyone it is that you know and the people who are the advocates for your brand, who, again, that will hopefully be your past clients as well, what about these in-between stages? So, I like the A-list, B-list, and C-list analogy for this here. That you're trying to draw people in constantly. Ultimately, to be a past client. That is your goal, to get people to become your clients. Now, if they're not ready for your services yet, that's fine. That's okay. That happens. They may never be ready for your services. That's fine. That's okay. That happens. But at least let's get them in this role of being an evangelist, an advocate for your brand, for your business. But we want to constantly be pulling people in from everyone it is that we know. And trying to draw them in to become a past client. Because once they are a past client, if we do a good job, we've got a very high likelihood that that person will become, to some degree, an advocate for our brand. Now, there's different activities you could do at each of these stages here. But before we even get into that, it's important that you understand where somebody is at in this process, because depending on where they're at in the process will change how it is that you spend time, money, attention, whatever it is that you're doing. How it is that you're doing that is dictated by where they're at in the process. Because somebody that's colder than this, everyone you still want to try to draw them in, but you wouldn't necessarily give the same time and attention and care and detail to somebody who you're maybe actively working with, or somebody that, again, who has worked their way into a deeper relationship with you. And there's a lot of ways, again, to support this, from social media and ways to get new leads from whether that be a pay-per-lead service or maybe leads your office is providing, or just the people it is that you know already, and reintroducing yourself to them. So what we're going to be talking about next is how to ultimately build a structured model of what you want to be doing on a regular basis to not just get new clients into these stages, but bump people up in these stages as well, move them further along in these processes. But we're going to take a quick commercial break, so stick with us. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.
And welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. If you're watching us live right now, you can head over to Facebook. We've actually got the live comments up here. Welcome back, Frank. Welcome back, Mike. Welcome back, Tiffany. Let me know if you guys have any questions about any of these topics here. Even if you're watching the replay on this, we go back, check these comments. If you like this topic about getting your first client, about getting more clients, make sure you hit that thumbs up button for us to let us know this is the information I want more of. I want to find out more about getting my first clients. I want to find out more about starting my business. Hey, let us know in the comments what it is that you need to know. That's why we do these shows every Wednesday and Friday, to give you information to help you grow your real estate business. And if you're not yet subscribed, hit that little bell icon so whenever it is that we have new content, new videos to help you grow your real estate business, to help you better understand how a real estate career can unlock new opportunities and a better future, hit that bell icon so you get notifications whenever it has content to help you understand and grow your business farther. But other than that, if you have any questions about getting started, about getting your real estate license, about how do I sell real estate, call us 813-333-2676. We have advisors standing by who are Florida Real Estate Commission certified sales associates, real estate instructors, brokers. We have a really great team here at the Tampa School of Real Estate to help you accomplish your real estate goals and objectives, to build your real estate empire. So any way it is we can help you do that, anything it is we can help you understand, again, call us 813-333-2676. But let's get back into today's episode where we're talking about how to get your first clients fast. And what we've covered so far is this whole kind of gravitational pull you want to start to build to get people into this middle area right here where these are your advocates for your business. Now, how do we get there? How do we get people to this point? Your best source of clients are going to be the people who are already in this arena. If you've already got somebody who is an advocate for you, your best friend, that might be your best source of your first lead. That best friend might be your first lead, your first client. Or again, if they truly know you, trust you, believe in you, they might know somebody who might be in need of your services, whether that be their friends, their family members, whoever. And the reasons why the whole someone that you know already is a great source of a first lead is, in real estate, there's ultimately two things you've got to accomplish when you're trying to serve your client. You have to be professional, of course, and that refers more along the lines of what it is that you're doing, how it is that you're doing it, do you know what you're doing? That's the whole professionalism, which, yes, of course, that's important. But the second portion, and this usually needs to come first, and this is ultimately significantly more important, is the relationship that you have with the client and the trust, because this is the largest purchase they may be making or the largest sale they may be making of their lifetime. It most likely will be. Usually someone's house is their largest purchase or their largest sale of their life. So if you want them to trust you with that purchase, it's not just trusting your professionalism, it's trusting you. And the people that you already know already have some degree of trust for you. Now, maybe you just moved to Florida. That's when I get a lot when people are asking me about, hey, how do I get my first clients? And, maybe I just moved to Florida. I don't know anybody here. I just moved here. How do I get my first clients if I just moved here? Well, again, going back to this, and now this would be the ideal. This might not exist, but I guarantee you there's somebody out here that would fit this that you know, even if you just moved to Florida. And my question I always ask when somebody asks me this is, I just moved here. How do I find my first clients? It's like, okay, well, where'd you move from? And they might say, Philadelphia, born and raised. Playground is where I spend most of my days. I was like, oh, really? That's interesting. Why did you move to Florida? That playground where you spend most of your days sounds so enticing. And say, well, Trying to think of more Fresh Prince puns I could put in here, but I don't know if I could, if I got it in me, if I could figure one out here. But let's say they're moving to Florida because, maybe it's weather. Maybe it's job opportunities. Maybe it's mandates. Maybe it's political. Maybe it's something more particular to them. But if there's any common thread or any common theme to why this person might have moved to Florida, why you might have moved to Florida, if we're talking about, again, where you're going to find your clients here. So why did you move here? And is there anybody else where you came from that also might be wanting to move to Florida? That's the great thing about Florida is people want to come here. When I was born and raised here in Tampa. I'm a Tampa boy. But anyways, and I just remember growing up, and I would have, my family is from, most of my extended family is from New York. And they would come to visit here in Florida, and I just remember one of my cousins, he would just be always so in awe of the palm trees. And I was like, dude, they're just palm trees. But I took it for granted, because we got palm trees everywhere here. They they're not, they look nice, but I'm me more so where we see like a maple tree or something like that. Wow, look at this. This is interesting. Which, I guess I get it. But this is just such a fantasy for so many people. Whether it's a fantasy because of the weather, whether it's a fantasy because of the beaches, whether it's a fantasy because of the things to do, it's also a fantasy because of taxes. It's also a fantasy because of different political things. There's a lot of reasons why people are moving to Florida. And even take away recent things, historically, there's always been a crazy influx of people wanting to move to Florida. We're one of the only states that historically has pretty much always had a net increase of population. Of always more people moving in than there are people moving out. Because there'll always be people moving out for whatever reasons as well. Could be for those very same reasons, maybe. Maybe they don't like the hot weather. Maybe they don't like the political climate. Maybe they don't like the fact that there's no income tax. Probably not. But maybe there's some other reason. Maybe they got a job opportunity elsewhere where they can't live in Florida. Or maybe they could work remotely now so they could live wherever, so they want to live in the fun and sun even though their company is based somewhere else. Whatever the reason may be, there's people from all over the world wanting to buy real estate here in Florida. And, take back to the example, let's say you're from Philadelphia, you're born and raised in Philadelphia, and you're moving now to Florida. Does anybody else want to do that? Is that anybody else's bucket list or fantasy or something it is that they want to accomplish or do? And maybe it's you showcasing that Florida lifestyle to them that makes them want to take the jump as well. There's a lot of people with real estate licenses here in Florida, but how many people are there in Philadelphia with a Florida real estate license? Not many. And you don't even necessarily have to physically be there. We have people from all over the country, all over the world, actually, that are in the process or have already gotten their Florida real estate license. And they're able to work basically remotely in finding clients and wherever it is that they are. Now, you always want to double check with your state rules and regulations, but for the most part, you're able to, as long as you're only advertising Florida real estate, since you're licensed for Florida, you're not advertising services anywhere else unless you have a license there, you're able to advertise anywhere in the world. Your Florida real estate. Which, when I say your, it doesn't necessarily even have to be your listings. It's anything in the multiple listing service. Anything in the multiple listing service listed by any real estate agent or any real estate broker, you're able to showcase those properties to potentially earn a commission if you're the one who sells the property. And you've got a major advantage to all the other realtors who don't have any presence, who don't have any stronghold, who don't have any footing in that particular market. Wherever it is, whether it's Philadelphia or whatever it is that you're coming from forward. So that solves the problem of what if I'm new to Florida? How do I tap into that? And you've got an advantage if you're new because you've got people elsewhere who, yes, there's probably fewer people who might need your services, but I guarantee you somebody that you know probably knows somebody who wants to buy real estate in Florida, either to move there themselves or maybe just as an investment. There's a lot of investment purchasers as well. Now that moves on to another thing it is I want to talk about, especially when I mention investor. So let's talk about investors. Let's talk about investors. Because are they an investor or are they an investor? Meaning, are they real or are they real or are they a waste of time? That's what you need to ask yourself when somebody says they're an investor. So, I can't tell you how many times I've dealt personally with somebody who is an investor. Or I've worked with an agent who has somebody who is an investor. Or even just witnessed secondhand somebody working with an investor. And when I say an investor, I don't mean an investor. I mean somebody who maybe aspires to be an investor. Maybe someday will have the capacity to actually buy real estate. But right now, they may be just wasting your time. And the easiest way to identify if they're an investor or somebody basically who's just and actually let me tell you this. So most of the time somebody who is an investor, they're probably not actively seeking out the help of a realtor. Probably because there's already so many realtors actively seeking out to work with them. So chances are if they're reaching out to you, they're probably already more along these lines. Now, that's not necessarily the case. I don't even want to say that, though, because there could be a legitimate person who might seem like they're a waste of time, who someday they may eventually really be an investor. And look, this isn't about like trying to, call somebody a scam or say they're a fraud or anything like that, or you're not really an investor. Because look, I was one of those people. Back before I owned real estate, I wanted to be an investor. Didn't have the capital, didn't have the wherewithal to get started. And so I would pretend. A lot of investors, there's books that tell you to do that, that teach investing, that says, well, until you're able to, you got to be looking at properties. That's something every investor will tell you now, and I'll tell you that's true. You need to be looking at properties. You don't necessarily need to be ordering a realtor around saying, hey, look, I need to find this unrealistic blah, 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 blah. And that's really where you could realize, are they a waste of time? Are they real or are they unreal? Because if we're talking about, the opposites here, are they real or are they unreal? Because if they're unreal, they're unrealistic. And if they're unrealistic, they're probably a waste of time. That's not to say that they might not be business someday, because they very well could be. But what's important is you're able to identify this so you're not necessarily getting caught up wasting your time for somebody who has no capacity and no wherewithal to actually buy real estate. And sometimes these people can be really demanding because maybe they think there's something they could learn from you, or maybe they really think that there's like some crazy unheard of deal that's amazing that's out there. With that unrealistic request, they maybe think it's really out there, but we're hiding it in the back. You got to know somebody to get that deal, and the reality is you probably do need to know somebody to get that deal, but that someone you need to know is probably the person who owns the property, or at least somebody close to them. So maybe there's opportunities for you there, but keep in mind, there may be a major false front going on with these people who are not a real, actual investor. And again, chances are if they're reaching out to you as an investor and they're not like a friend or family member or somebody like that where, it makes sense why they're reaching out to you, if they don't already know you, or maybe didn't see an advertisement of you or something like that. Because if you did something to already be present with them, if you're already in their inner circles, that's what these are here. These are circles in the inner circles. So the inner circles, the ones here towards the middle. If you've already got somebody in an inner circle, or it's somebody from your inner circle, from their inner circle, you know what? They might not be a waste of time if they are reaching out to you. But if they're just some cold lead off the internet or something like that, that it seems like, well, why is this person reaching out to me? Maybe that's what's going on. Key word, though, is to qualify. And how do you qualify? Fact-finding. Which, what is fact-finding? It's asking questions, but it's not just asking questions. It's asking questions to get good answers. Because it's not just simply about asking the questions. That seems weird. Completely forgot how to spell answer, but whatever. You don't have to know how to spell to do real estate. Living proof. So fact-finding, asking questions, but to get good answers. And really, you want to try to get to direct questions. Now, you might warm up. You might start off with easier questions to help, build some rapport, establish a relationship a little bit more. But ultimately, you want to get to those direct questions. Well, how much do you want to spend? How soon do you want to buy? Do you already have a pre-approval? For how much? From who? Can you email me a copy? If we found the perfect house tomorrow, would you be ready to commit? Oh, tomorrow? You're that good? Probably not. It's probably going to take a little time, but let's say we did find it tomorrow. Would you be ready to make an offer? Oh, I don't know. I haven't even thought about that yet. Well, now we're thinking about that. So that way, when we do find that house, you're going to be more ready. Or I'll know in advance that, you know what? You're not ready. And you know what? We're not ready to start investing time, taking this relationship to the next level, trying to find that perfect property, because you're not even ready to buy that perfect property yet. So I'm going to still stay in touch with you. I'm going to still stay in contact with you, but, and we're going to say this in a nicer way. I'm just trying to tell you what's between the lines here of what you would be saying to them is basically you want to put them on the back burner, because they're not necessarily at that stage here where they're ready to go. They're going to be maybe further out. They're not necessarily sold on the idea of buying real estate with you yet. It might be you. It might be the timing. It might be them. It might be something. But now the question is, are they an advocate for your brand? Can they be an advocate for your brand? Because, maybe for the sake of helping them, it doesn't make sense. For the sake of helping them at this moment, it doesn't maybe make sense to invest all this time, because you're not going to get a commission, because maybe they can't qualify for a loan, let's say. But maybe there's things that you could do with them. Maybe that is still showing homes, because maybe there's a lot of potential for them to be an advocate. Maybe your best friend has no interest in buying real estate right now, but they like looking at real estate, and you want to go show them a couple properties. And maybe they know somebody who, once you've proven to them that you know what you're doing, they're going to be confident in recommending you to their friends and family. And so that might be somebody who isn't business now, but somebody who could still help grow your business. Now, what's important to keep in mind with that, though, is that this person is not a client. That's really what I'm talking about being direct down here, is what you're trying to find out is, are they ready? Are you ready to do this? Because if you're not, that's okay. Most people aren't ready. statistically speaking, most people aren't ready to buy or sell real estate. Most people that you talk to will not be ready that very moment. But the more it is that you draw them in, the more it is that you pull them in, the more it is you help them understand what it is that you can do and how it is you can help them accomplish their real estate goals, the more it is they're going to see how you could help them. And one other thing it is I want to cover for today is all different ways it is that you can support that image, whether somebody is, and this could be a way to get you leads, or this is just a way to stay top of mind. And the number one thing you should be doing to stay top of mind with the people it is that you know is social media. Now, you might not be a social media person. That's fine. Most other people are. Most people are on social media to some degree. So, and everyone, I guarantee you this, every single person on social media was new to social media at some point as well. Come on in, the water's fine. But this is so powerful because what it allows you to do is to stay top of mind with your friends, with your family members, with your coworkers, with your past coworkers, with all the people it is you maybe went to school with, anyone it is that you know, any new potential clients, because you want to constantly be pulling people in to that, again, goal of becoming a past client. So social media is a great way to stay top of mind. Now, the next best thing, and this sometimes can be even more powerful than social media, but I'm not here to tell you to do one of these things. I'm here to tell you to do all of them, is email marketing. And this could be in the form of newsletters. This could be in the form of educational emails, any kind of email, anything that gets opened and gets read and helps you get a potential sale. Email can be a very powerful way, and something that's an even better way to contact. There are maybe a few more rules and regulations, and there's definitely a higher cost to doing this. Usually, if you're doing it from like an official marketing standpoint, is SMS or text messages. And on top of that, another great way to stay top of mind, stay in contact, is direct mail. If you have their address, you could mail them stuff as well. You could have stuff going to their email as well as their actual physical mailbox. Because the more times it is they see your brand, they see your name, they see you associated with real estate, they're going to think of you when they think of real estate. And that's the name of the game. And this is something you want to be doing from the very beginning with everybody it is that's already in that advocate level. If they're already in the advocate level, you want to be doing all of these things to continue to build that relationship further. But then you want to build out from there, and you want to reach out further than that. And reaching out further to, again, people that know you. It's not about where the leads are coming from. It's about where they're at in this process. These leads could come from anywhere and be good leads. It's just a question, are they in this coldest category down here? Or are they already somebody who's maybe knows you, kind of trusts you? Or even if they're brand new and they're cold here, maybe they get on your social media, they start following you, maybe they're watching your videos, maybe they're reading your blog post, whatever it is you might be doing, and that's going to help push them towards this ultimate end-all be-all goal of you serving them becoming a past client and being an evangelist and advocate for your brand. But yeah, so direct mail can be really great. An actual visit, an actual personal visit, that's a very time-intensive. But this could be a lunch, this could be a dinner date, this could be you just stopping by to drop off a little gift, a little freebie thing, something like that. It could be door knocking if we're out there trying to get clients in the first place, just randomly knocking on doors until we meet somebody who needs our services, and along the way, all the other people we meet, if they're friendly with us, we're trying to build a relationship so we could add them to our sphere of influence, so we could follow up with them on social media through email marketing, through text messages, through direct mail, and through future personal visits. Because we do all those things, we do all this stuff, you will have more business, you will have more clients. It's not a question of if, it's a question of when. And the more it is that you do these things, the faster you will get those first clients. Hey, what's going on, Alana? Glad you're enjoying today's show and it's helping you out. Again, if you guys have questions on any of this information, even if you're watching the replay, drop it in the comments. We check that stuff, we reply to, and we actually use, what videos you'd like and what questions you ask to help us better understand what content to actually put out there. Because the reason why we do these videos, the reason why we do all of this is to help you understand how to grow your real estate business and to build a successful real estate career. We see ourselves as not just somebody who's here to give you a class and you're on your own to just go pass your exam. And for us, it's really not even just about passing your exam. It's about accomplishing your real estate goals, about building your dream real estate career, building your real estate empire. Maybe someday it is that you're wanting to become an investor. Getting started in real estate as a sales associate is a great way to do that. Even if you're just doing this part-time, real estate is 100% capable of being able to do part-time. My wife just recently got a real estate license a few months ago. She's already had her first listing, closed, commission, money in the bank. And her first client was one of her best friends, a really good friend who knew her, who trusted her, who, once she saw her in that professional capacity, knew that, okay, well, this is going to be my realtor. And there was no questions about it. So that's possible. That can happen very quickly, but you have to be intentional about it. And the thing was, my wife was toying around with the idea of getting a real estate license for a while. Something that she had thought about doing. And matter of fact, I think it was probably at least 6 months from when she had taken the course to eventually when she had took her state exam, maybe even a little longer than that. But it's something she was kicking around, and honestly, when I got started in real estate, it was the same exact thing. I was kicking around the idea of doing real estate. That's what most people usually do when they're thinking about it. It's not something you just wake up one day and you're like, aha, real estate. That's what I'm doing. Maybe that is you, but most likely it's not. If you're like 99% of people out there, not probably 99.9, it's something you're thinking about, but you're like, nah, I can't do that. I'm not sure about that. I don't know. And the problem a lot of times is just not having the right information, not understanding. And there's a lot of bad information that's out there. And that's how we set ourselves apart here. We don't like to think that we live in the information age anymore. The information age has already came and gone. We live in the misinformation age because there's so much contradictory information out there. And for starting a successful real estate career, there's so many different things it is that you could find out there, but what actually works? What actually is something that's going to help you build a successful real estate business? So we're here to be your guides through all of this here to help you understand the fundamental aspects of what builds a successful real estate career, so that way you don't fall victim to some scam or some business model that isn't the right fit for you, or you join the wrong brokerage, or any of these things that could result in failure. And that's what we don't want here. But when we talk about failure as a school, most people are just thinking about an exam. And look, we're here to get you passed through that exam. Check out passfirsttry.com if you need any exam prep tools. They are the best exam prep tools in the state of Florida. That's passfirsttry.com. But it's not just about passing the exam. It's not just about accomplishing that. It's about what it is that you set out to get this real estate license for in the first place. So if there's anything we could do to help you along your journey, to help you better understand real estate, to help you get enrolled in a class and actually turn this dream into a reality, call us at 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. We also have tons of information on our website, tampaschool.com, and that alone could be information overload. So again, call us. We've got a chat on our website. You could text us, 813-333-2676. Whatever is your preferred method to communicate, we're here to help you. We're here to guide you through this process, to answer any questions you have and to assist you in any way it is that we can. That's about all the time we have for today's show. I want to thank you guys for tuning in, and I really hope this has helped you better understand how to build a successful real estate business. If you like today's show and you want to see more topics like that, hit that thumbs up button for us. Hit that bell icon so you get notifications whenever it is you have new content. We'll be back on this Friday for State of Real Estate. That's our weekly mastermind to grow your real estate business. 12 noon, same time, same place on Friday. I'll see you guys there. You have a great week. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're going to love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to
pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com. Have you completed your post-licensing education yet? Look, I know you're probably thinking, hey, it's not my renewal deadline, I don't need to do post-licensing yet, but look, here's why you want to do post-licensing as soon as you've got your real estate license, as soon as you're able to take post-licensing. It's not just another course about arbitrary laws that you're never going to use again. It's about real-world, usable topics that'll help you grow your real estate business, to help you take it to the next level. Look, let me ask you this one question. If this course helps you close just one deal, if you get one extra deal from post-licensing, is it worth the investment? I'd say it is. We get paid pretty well, so one deal means a lot of money. Check out postflorida.com. That's postflorida.com for the full details about post-licensing. Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate.
Do you want a career that allows you to be in control? With a career in real estate, you'll get to call the shots. Whether you're looking at starting part-time or want to become the next top agent, a career in real estate makes it possible. Find out what it takes at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Chrisma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.